Hello grade 8 students! Good day! Sir Michael S. Benville po, at your service. Ako ang inyong teacher broadcaster para sa Health 8 Quarter 3, Week 1, Day 2. Have you ever heard the words morbidity and mortality? Madalas natin itong naririnig sa mga balita ngayong panahon ng pandemya. Ano nga ba ang morbidity and mortality? At ano-ano nga ba ang pinagkaiba nila? And what are the leading causes of morbidity and mortality in the Philippines? Yan ang pag-uusapan natin in this video. Tara! Our lesson is all about the leading causes of morbidity and mortality in the Philippines. Our objective is for you to analyze the leading causes of morbidity and mortality in the Philippines. Handa na ba kayo? Tara, simulan na natin. First, let us identify the meaning of morbidity. So, ano nga ba ang morbidity? Morbidity refers to having a disease or a symptom of disease or to the amount of disease within a population. Morbidity also refers to medical problems caused by a treatment. Mortality refers to the state of being mortal. In medicine, a term also used for death rate or the number of deaths in a certain group of people in a certain period of time. Ano nga ba ang pinagkaiba ng dalawa? Morbidity refers to someone being unhealthy, while mortality refers to someone being dead. Yes na? Ito ang ilan sa mga halimbawa ng morbidity. Number 1, we have the diabetes, high blood pressure or hypertension, heart disease, obesity, lung diseases such as asthma and chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder or the COPD. Number 6, stroke. Number 7, chronic kidney disease. Number 8, infections such as the flu, COVID-19, and HIV. Number 9, cancer. Number 10, Alzheimer's disease. And number 11, mental health conditions such as anxiety and depression. You'll often see morbidity data presented in two ways. Ito ay ang incidence and prevalence. Now, let's dive a little deeper into each of these. Ano nga ba ang incidence? Incidence refers to the occurrence of new cases of an illness or condition within a population over a defined period of time. It can express as a proportion or a rate. Ano naman ang proportion and rate? Unahin natin ang proportion. An incidence proportion can be used to estimate the risk for developing a specific condition during a given time period. It's calculated by dividing the number of new cases during a specific period by the population at the start of the period. For example, let's say that 10 people became ill with food poisoning after eating undercooked chicken at a backyard barbecue. If 40 people attending the barbecue and ate the chicken, the risk of food poisoning would be 25%. Next is rate. The incident rate naman is the number of new cases of a disease within an at-risk population. This helps determine how quickly a disease is spreading. It's often expressed in units of population, such as per 100,000 people. For example, say you're studying a population of 800,000 people at risk for developing hepatitis C. After 1 year, you find that 500 of those people have tested positive for the disease. To calculate the incident rate, you divide the 500 cases by the population of 800,000. You can then say that the incident rate of hepatitis C in this population is 0.000625 or 62.25 cases per 100,000 people per year. Malinaw na ba ang rate para sa'yo? Cool! Isunod naman natin ang prevalence. Prevalence is the proportion of a population that has a condition or illness. Unlike incidence, it includes both new and existing cases. It can either be calculated at a specific point in time or over a specified period of time. Prevalence is often expressed as a percentage population population units, such as per 100,000 people, can also be used. Para mas malinaw ang pagkakaiba ng incidence and prevalence, compare natin sila. Unahin natin ang incidence. Probability of developing disease. Numerators counts only new cases. Requires follow-up of individuals in a population to identify new cases. Does not depend on the duration of illness. Preferred measure when studying cause and effect. While prevalence, probability of already having disease. Numerators counts both new and old cases. Does not require follow-up. Depends on duration of disease. Long duration will eventually increase the prevalence of a disease. And last one, preferred measure when estimating the population-based burden of a chronic disease or attribute. For example, smoking. Now, tapos na tayo sa morbidity, incidence, and prevalence. The next is mortality. Ano nga ba ang mortality? Mortality refers to the state of being mortal. In medicine, a term also used for death rate or the number of deaths in a certain group of people in a certain period of time. 2019, the top 10 causes of death accounted for 55% of the 55.4 million deaths worldwide. The top global causes of death, in order of total number of lives lost, are associated with three broad topics. Number 1, cardiovascular. Number 2, respiratory. Number 3, neonatal conditions. Causes of death can be grouped into three categories. Number 1, communicable. Ito yung mga infectious and parasitic diseases and maternal, perinatal, and nutritional conditions. Number 2, non-communicable like chronic. And number 3, injuries. Sa kabila ng mortality rate ng bansa, dapat matutunan ng mga tao kung paano baguhin ang kanilang lifestyle. To change how people live, it is important to know why people die. Lalo na ngayong panahon ng pandemya, ang daming pinarealize sa atin ito, gaya ng pag-exercise, healthy diet, pagtitipid, at marami pang iba. Measuring how many individuals die each year helps to determine the quality of our health services and guide resources to where they are most needed. Mortality data, for example, can help us focus activities and resource distribution across sectors such as transportation, food and agriculture, and both health and the environment. Narito ang number of deaths by cause ng World 2017. Ang source natin ay mula sa IHME Global Burden of Disease. Una, meron tayong cardiovascular diseases na 17.79 million. Cancers, 9.56 million. Respiratory diseases na 3.91 million. Lower respiratory infections na 2.56 million. At ilan lamang ito sa napakaraming dahilan ng mortality rate sa Philippines. Remember, morbidity is when you have a specific illness or condition. Some examples of common morbidities are heart disease, diabetes, and obesity. You can have more than one morbidity at a time. When this happens, it's called comorbidity. Mortality is the number of deaths due to a specific illness or condition. And that ends our lesson for today. Did you understand it very well? If not, you may go back to the lesson presented in your module. If today's lesson is very clear to you, congratulations! You may now answer the exercises in your module. God bless!